Hello guys, and welcome to Field of Glory Kingdoms. Today I'm super excited to share with you a sponsored preview of the brand new DLC releasing today, Rajas and Tribes. If you like what you see, make sure to click the link to the Steam page in the description. For those of you unfamiliar with Field of Glory Kingdoms, it is a strategy game that starts in 1054 through to 1270 that puts you in command of a fledgling nation which you build up to a mighty kingdom or empire, winning the game by scoring legacy points through different means dependent on who you play. The base game is extensive and you can play as many different nations across Europe, Africa and the Middle East, but the new Rajas and Tribes DLC expands this to West India and Central Africa. Just look at how many new nations there are and how expanded the map is. Building armies and infrastructure to dominate still remains a key part of the game, however there are now new ways to win through the Great Trades and War Campaigns features. The Great Trades work by rewarding legacy points based on how many specific resources are traded, such as furs, spices, salt, silk, and more. The War Campaign feature works by setting one or more war goal. If you are successful in occupying the regions selected, you gain legacy points based on the quality of the regions. There are new buildings and other exclusive features that give these new nations plenty of fun opportunities. Just like in the base game, different areas have different traits. This is especially the case in the new African and Indian nations. On top of all of that, this DLC adds two new scenarios. One focuses on Alexander Nevsky and the Rus struggle against the Teutonic Knights and Swedish invaders. A second, called Guelphs and Ghibellines, focuses on the political and military strife in Italy as city-states face off in the shadow of the Holy Roman Empire, either putting their support behind the Empire or behind the Pope. With all that said, let's demonstrate some of the new mechanics. So here is a save that I made earlier, and you can see that we are currently playing as the Kalyani Chalukya. This is a faction that sits on the west side of India. So we're right on the edge of the map over here. Lots of expansion potential, that's for sure, if we just keep heading west. But I wanted to show off this save today because it really shows off some of the new features well. So starting off with the Great Trades. So we can go into our nation panel here and click on the Great Trades panel. That will open up the new Great Trades. So in order to get into the top earning nations in the Great Trades, you need to trade in specific resources. In our case, we are trading in ivory and tusks and frankincense, which is giving us 2 legacy points per turn. And that's putting us second in the overall rankings at the moment. So the top ranked nation has 60% chance to receive a special bonus. The second has a 30% chance. And the third has a 10% chance. And you can see that in the last turn, the Kalyani Chalukya received Trust Reigns. So if I quit that window and we go to our realm traits, you'll see that I've received the faction modifier Trust Reigns, which gives us a trade rage bonus of +1 and trade acumen bonus of +1, or +4, sorry. So that's going to help us secure any and all resources that we need in order to fuel our empire. So if I select, for example, this region and we go to trade details, you'll see that we have 11 trade acumen. And trade acumen basically lets you gain resources that are contested. So if two factions need the same resource, the one with the higher trade acumen is usually the one that will get access to it. And you can see that our trade range is 4, so that allows us to gain resources from further away in order to fulfill the needs of our buildings. And by doing so, we're going to really boost our economy for this turn. Because these modifiers, they do only last for 1 turn. So if we're lucky, every turn we'll get a new one, and there is another one that I saw already that was like plus 10% commerce. So they do differ in what you can gain. So that's one thing. Another thing that I can show off is the Eastern expansion here. If I click on expeditions in East India, you'll notice that we can send an expeditionary force over to East India, and by doing so we can get bonuses from that. I currently haven't sent any forces over there just yet, but it's a very interesting little feature that you can mess around with, especially like at the start of the game. If you're playing as like Malwa, you might want to just like consolidate your area, send some troops to East India before you actually try and start to deal with the Ghaznavid Sultanate here, which will be quite a challenge at some point. Like, I'm going to have to build up my empire here on the west side of India, and then we're going to have to take on this big old Sultanate at some point. But another thing that I can show you while we're here is the war goals. So you can see the war campaigns panel. So we have a war campaign that started on turn 3 and will end no later than turn 18. A war campaign consists of up to 4 phases. Secure war goals as quickly as possible to earn legacy points as their value decreases over time. You can end the campaign by using the stop button. So you'll notice that we already secured Goa, and I secured that very early on. So we currently get the full legacy worth of 31, which, considering we're only on like 79 legacy points, 31 extra is quite significant at this point in the game. And you'll see that this one is slightly less at 24. It was higher, but unfortunately it's taken me more than 4 turns to secure it. So if we go back into the war campaigns, you can see legacy loss per phase is 25%, secured legacy is 31, potential legacy is 24. So we're hoping to get that extra 24. So in order to do that, we're going to be using our army here, and it's led by Kalyan. He's going to be hopefully assaulting Aihol, and we'll be taking that from the kingdom of Hoysala. So I have him set to assault because there's only like 3 defenders there. We might still take some losses, but let's find out as we move on to the next turn. I'll also be able to show you at the end of the turn where we stand in the rankings. We'll just view the report on this. Yeah, we'll take them out nice and easy. That's going to secure this area for us, and now we get that legacy worth of 24 at the end of the turn. We've already secured our 2 war goals, which is fantastic. So you'll notice on the right here, we are currently at the top of the legacy rankings for all of the factions that start with 0, which puts us well ahead of many other factions. Now, all of these factions up here, they tend to start with way more. So they start with like 500. These ones start with 1,000, 2,000. These ones like 3,500. So in order to catch up with them, you're going to have to build up quite quickly. But we secured 68 this turn, which is absolutely huge. Because the war campaign launched by the Kalyani Chalyurka against Hoysala is now over. 2 war goals have been achieved out of 2, leading to 55 legacy points earned, which is, yeah, absolutely massive. And we're also going to get a token, which is nice as well. So from here, we can continue our war with this faction in order to fully secure the lands. We will need to wait on our reinforcements to do so. Let's just check these missions. So we've received a new regional decision. Well, these are just notifications. But new regional decision to recruit non-standard units. We have our legacy secured. Very nice. That's good. That's just telling us that we secured the area. Wonderful. So this is the battle that took place. You can see that they were very depleted. It was just the range phase. They're exhausted immediately and then get taken out. Nice and easy. Okay. Now that recruit non-standard units could be pretty handy here, because we're currently relatively low on men if we want to continue this war. We kind of want to be at more like 80 strength. I did just recruit some more guys. So we do have an army here that can join us. We have another one. over here that we can bring up to join the army. So we'll probably just do that, make sure they all meet up. And the slots here have already been sorted because I currently have the entire region on automated balance. So yeah, this new area that we took over has already balanced out the population there, although we can add a new building to the queue now. Regardless, hopefully that gives you a good idea of some of the new features that are available in this DLC. Definitely going to be playing more of this on stream in the future. If you haven't tried it yet, Field of Glory Kingdoms is a really fun game and quite easy to pick up. Make sure to click the link in the description to check it out on Steam. Thank you very much to Slytherin for sponsoring this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.